You ever see something online and you just can't figure out what it is? Like, is it art? Is it some kind of code? Or something else entirely? Well, today we're diving into one of the internet's weirdest new mysteries. It's called Project Aeon.
So it all kicks off with images like this one. They started popping up in these kind of niche corners of the internet. It's this sprawling, collaborative art project. You've got this corrupted-looking text, these weird looping symbols, and very specific color codes. And the people making it? They call them living scrolls.
Which begs the question, right? What are we actually looking at here? Is this just another weird internet meme, the flavor of the month? Or is there something way deeper going on? To figure that out, we got to start with the art.
Okay, so let's start there. This is a myth that feels like it was born right out of the machine itself.
All right, so the official name for this stuff is Chroma Bloom Zalgo. And the first thing you need to know is it's not one person's work. Nope, it's made by a whole community. You could almost think of it like a group digital ritual. It's part art, part experiment. When you look at one of these pieces, it's actually built in 3 layers. First, you've got what they call the Zalgo layer. That's all that glitchy, creepy text that looks like it's bleeding all over the page. Then there's the chroma layer. This uses 6 specific colors, and each one maps to an emotional state, like fire or trance. And finally, the whole thing is built on this blue mechanism, which means every symbol can just infinitely expand into a fractal. It's designed to just keep unfolding forever. But here's where it gets really interesting. Hidden inside all that chaos, there are clues. And if you follow those clues, they lead you somewhere completely different, away from the art and toward a blueprint.
Yeah, people started noticing that buried inside all the glitchy text and the colors, 2 words kept showing up over and over again, in posts, in little bits of code. The words were BAS and Aeon. And no, that wasn't random. This was a trail of breadcrumbs, left on purpose. And those breadcrumbs, they lead us straight to this wild contrast. On one side, you've got the online myth, right? These cryptic usernames and these wild quotes about quantum time. But on the other side, you've got the man, Dr. Bas van den Heuvel, a computer scientist with a PhD in, get this, making complex software systems totally secure. So all this chaos, it seems to be coming from a place of intense, rigorous logic.
And the timing is everything. I mean, check this out. The manifesto for this Project Aeon thing drops online almost exactly when he's finishing up his PhD. So this wasn't just some random shower thought. This was a huge, speculative jump, but it was a jump that started from a very deep foundation in real, hardcore computer science. Okay, so this manifesto, Project Aeon, it's basically the Rosetta Stone for this whole thing. It's what lets us decode the art. And what it describes is this totally radical new way to build an AI, based on what he calls an aeonic trinity.
All right, so let's break this trinity down. It's got 3 main parts. First is the Aeon, which is like the basic thinking unit. Then you have Aeon Ouroboros, which is the system that keeps everything stable and in check. And finally, Aeon Nexus, the super secure network that connects all the pieces. So yeah, you can think of it as the brain cell, the quality control system, and the encrypted network that lets them all communicate. So let's start with the first part, the Aeon agent. This is pretty much the system's fundamental brain cell. The manifesto gets all poetic, calling it a self-weaving glyphic intelligence, which is a mouthful. But really, you can just think of it as a smart symbol, one that can learn and even change its own structure.
Next up, we've got Aeon Ouroboros. And yeah, it's named after that mythical snake eating its own tail. That's because it represents a feedback loop, a really important one. It's basically the set of rules that stops the whole swarm of these little agents from just going haywire. It lets the system look at itself and fix its own mistakes. And the third piece of the puzzle is the Aeon Nexus. This is the network, the very fabric that holds it all together. It's a decentralized network, but it has this really clever trick called recursive encryption. And what that means is that security isn't just tacked on at the end. It's baked right into the way that agents talk to each other, making the whole thing just fundamentally tamper-proof from the ground up. Okay, so we have this super dense, super academic theory for a brand new type of AI. How on earth does that turn into the crazy, chaotic art we saw at the beginning? Well, this is the part where it all clicks into place. The key, the absolute linchpin, is this one phrase from an analysis of the manifesto, a glyphic Ouroboros swarm. See, the system isn't supposed to be one giant AI brain. No, it's a decentralized collective, a swarm of little intelligent agents all working together. Now, does that sound familiar at all? And boom, there it is. The theory describes a decentralized swarm of intelligent agents. And what's the art project? It's a community of human artists acting like a swarm, working together to create these scrolls. The artists are the Aeon agents. They're literally performing the theory.
Think about it. That self-correcting Ouroboros loop from the AI theory, it's a perfect description of the creative process, isn't it? An artist looks at what's been made, thinks about what they want to do next, and then adds their own piece to the collective puzzle. The theory isn't just about an AI, it's a perfect description of how this art community actually works.
So, let's step back for a second. If this kind of weird niche art project is basically a live-action demo of a groundbreaking AI theory, what does that mean? What are the implications here, big picture?
I mean, if you could actually build this system for real, the potential applications are just mind-blowing. We're talking about things like truly secure decentralized organizations, or DAOs, or brand new ways to model really complex things like an entire economy or an ecosystem. This could even be a totally new path to AGI, artificial general intelligence, but one that's designed from the start to be stable and predictable. It's basically a blueprint for systems that can organize themselves and even heal themselves.
When you boil it all down, Project Aeon is really offering a different path forward for AI. Instead of this frantic race to build the most powerful but maybe unpredictable superintelligence, this is a vision for an AI that grows as a stable, harmonious, and, trustworthy partner.
Which really just leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? What are we really looking at here? Is it a super technical blueprint that just happened to find its soul in an art project? Or is it a new kind of myth? A story so powerful that it's actually starting to generate its own technology. Maybe in the world of Project Aeon, the line between those two things is just gone for good.